Good morning, Muscatine. This is Lieutenant Greg. Welcome to the Muscatine Today Show. I'm here with some great people we'll get to in just a second. But first, I want to open up by saying what a gorgeous day it is outside. I woke up this morning, heard the birds chirping, the sun was out finally. I know they say April showers brings May flowers, but we need some sun. We need some warmth once in a while, right? So it's a great day, again, to have a great day. And before we get into our guests, I just want to thank our sponsors who are very generous in sponsoring the show and all things Muscatine. So Hy-Vee, of course, where we're at today on the 2nd Avenue store. Unity Point, Trinity Muscatine, Muscatine Power and Water, Becky Insurance, Toyota of Muscatine, Rivo Plumbing and Heating, Impact Fitness and Nutrition, Suntan City, Lutheran Living Senior Campus, Impact Life Blood Center, and Harper's Cycling and Fitness. Thank you very much for supporting the Muscatine Today Show. Discover Muscatine. If you're looking for any services within that group of sponsors, we recommend you check them out because they're great people, do great work. So thank you very much for that. You know, I was walking in the store today, and I walked through the dining area here at Muscatine, the Market Grill, and my friend Max Kaufman was sitting there, and he said, "Hey, I have something for you." I said, "Well, Max, what is it?" And he gave me. And this is his Navy hat from when he was in the Navy, right? He lent it to me today because yesterday we talked about the Salvation Army and they were joking about the Salvation Navy. And what they don't know is that there was a Salvation Navy for just a short period of time. So he said, "You can wear this on the show today, be part of the Salvation Navy." And he had a good laugh. But on his head was an actual veteran's hat. So Max Kaufman and all our veterans in and around Muscatine County, thank you very much for your service. We appreciate you and all you've sacrificed to keep us safe, to keep us well. So thank you very much for your service, Max, and all the veterans in and around the Muscatine area. If you look at our discovermuscatine.com webpage, you'll see the upcoming events. And just real quick, I'll go through them with you. Today, April 14th, from 8:30 to 11:30 is Y Play at YMCA. This afternoon from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. at the Muscatine Art Center, a great place. Go visit it if you haven't visited, is the Mini Masters Art class. Bingo is tonight also at Fruitland Community Center from 6 to 8 p.m. At Munster Public Library from 7 to 9 p.m. I'm sorry, from 7 to 8 p.m. is Overeaters Anonymous meeting. Sorry I messed up that time. I'll tell it again. It's 7 to 8 p.m. at the library, Munster Public Library, is Overeaters Anonymous. And then tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. is the Muscatine City Council meeting. So we encourage you all to get involved in all things going on around Muscatine. If you're shopping for Easter this weekend, we encourage you, check out the downtown area. Make it Muscatine, keep it local. Check out your local Hy-Vee store. Great, beautiful flower arrangements here as well. Different gifts with that. And so, and then today, you'll see on the table, beautiful flowers. We have live flowers. These are real, look at these things, real flowers. And today is National Gardening Day. Oh. It's also National Look Up in the Sky Day. You didn't know that either.
I did not know that either.
And then National Pecan Day. So you want to keep that in mind as the show progresses. Yeah. So I want to get right to it. So we're joined today with two lovely ladies here on my right-hand side. So I'll allow you guys to introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Jean Broders, and I'm the Director of Marketing with Kent Pet Group, which is a Kent Corporation company. Okay. And I lead the strategy and execution of a brand that we have, which a lot of people may not be familiar with. It's cat litter made from corn, and it's called World's Best Cat Litter. So fun brand.
Best. I've seen
World's Best. It's on the shelves here in Hy-Vee as well. So great brand, but I have a great group of team members that help me do all the strategy and execution. We have a lot of fun. The pet industry is really fun. People love their pets. But anyway, it's a great product made right here in Muscatine, down the south end of town, and it's national. It's right next to you. Okay. It's right next to you.
Awesome.
Right. So yeah. So fun industry. Have a great team. The product's fun. People love the pet industry. Yeah. So it's just been a great time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then next to you, we have...
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Bobbi Segura. I'm the Regional Manager for Women Lead Change. We are a statewide... Excuse me? This one? Okay. Shall I start over?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Bobbi Segura. I'm with Women Lead Change, and we are a global organization of women. We're a nonprofit. We do conferences and workshops and work with our Connect groups, and we help people try to find a way to improve their leadership development skills. Women Lead Change is our name, but we also work an awful lot with our advocates and allies, our male advocates. So we're in good company up here. And Kent Foods, Kent Pet Group, right?
Yes, Kent Pet Group.
Is a part of one of our groups here in Eastern Iowa, Quad City Women Connect.
Just a new member. It's been wonderful.
You know, I read through the community calendar. I failed to mention April 30th is It Takes a Village Pet Rescue and Resource Vaccination Clinic, and I believe I read that Kent Pet Group is a sponsor.
We are.
Of that event. So thank you very much for not just putting quality cat food on the shelves and all the other things you guys do, but also taking an interest in just this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Sure, promoting responsible pet ownership. So we appreciate that.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm a pet owner, not a cat owner, but I have 2 rescued dogs. So I love anything that has to do with pets.
Right.
Absolutely. So what do you have going on?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about our Quad City Women Connect group, of which Jean is a member. I'd love to know, Jean, why it is you decided that you wanted to join this group. Because we talked for a long time
We did
about
talk
whether
for
or
a
not
long
this would
time.
be right for you and your group.
Right.
So
My good friend Denise Greenhaw with H&I, we've been friends for many years, and she had been talking to me about the group, sharing information and saying, hey, I think you would really enjoy this. So introduced me to you, Bobbi, and we had several discussions, some Zoom discussions, which was
virtual.
great.
We've
all
only
virtual.
ever seen each other in person a couple of times.
I know. So your enthusiasm for the program and your passion for it was like kind of contagious, and I'm like, why wouldn't I want to be a part of this with these strong women that are confident and very professional and capable? And I got invited to one of the social events and got to meet some other people within the group. And I just thought this is a great way for me to help develop myself. I mean, your mission statement of being dedicated to development and just setting women up for success, I'm like, of course it makes sense. So finally joined and super happy about it.
We are so glad to have a company like yours as a part of our group, because what we do, Quad City Women Connect is a group that meets on a monthly basis. It is often the HR, business development, or marketing leads in a company, and we meet on a monthly basis. We were doing it all virtual for a while, then we were doing a little bit virtual, a little bit in person. Now we're going to go forward and do these meetings in person. And what we do is we get together and we talk about best practices within a company. So things like, right now the big thing that employers are worried about is recruiting and retaining employees.
Right.
And that's a double-edged sword. You know, if your culture doesn't foster employees staying, if you don't plug into your employees and try to figure out what makes them tick and why they should stay with you and not go someplace else, you're missing the boat.
Right.
So we talk a lot about that sort of things. We talk about mentoring. We talk about things that your company can do to enhance employees that are already there. We also talk a lot about how to get somebody to come to work for you, because everybody's looking for that one best employee, that one person, and it's an employee's market right now.
Right.
So employers really have to respond to that. So this group is a group of women leaders who focused on those issues, in addition to having an opportunity to develop leadership skills in a couple of different ways. And one of the ways we do this is at the meetings, the other is at workshops. And Jean was just telling me an interesting story before we started about someone from her group interested in one of our workshops. So share that, because that was a really good one.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been with the company for 33 years, and I would have loved to have had a resource like this when I first started with the company. So I was super happy when one of my young team members said, hey Jean, she lives in the Quad Cities, and she said, I saw this event that's coming up, and it looks super interesting. I'm always wanting to try and improve, what I'm doing at work, bring new ideas. And she said, do you mind if I attend? And I said, well, what is the event? And she told me, and I said, Absolutely, I want you to attend. This is great, and I hope to get her and some others also within our company to attend the event. But I love that she's wanting to have mentors, wanting to find ways to improve herself, wanting to have other resources out there, and I think this is a great opportunity for her to do that.
That's a good point, because I know this is the Quad Cities, right? But you're also talking about Muscatine women, or that travel to Muscatine to be employed.
Right.
So it's not just for Quad Cities. We're part of the Quad City greater area here as well. So it's also for women that are in Muscatine as well. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right on.
Absolutely.
I know there are a lot of people who belong to our group that either live here and travel to the Quad Cities, or live in the Quad Cities, or travel here for work. The workshop that we're talking about, it's called Boundaries in the Workplace, and we've got a great speaker. Her name is Courtney Meisner. It's on May 19th. It'll be at the Hotel Blackhawk, and it is what we do with our quarterly workshops is that we really take a look at what employers are maybe missing with their training, what they're looking for. These are all programmed for emerging leaders, hopeful leaders. I like to call them hopeful leaders. These workshops sometimes will be the first one that they ever go to. Sometimes they'll be just sort of a reinforcement of what they already know. We look at things like this one's on boundaries and the change, managing really through change in the world that we're in right now.
Who doesn't need that right now? How to manage change.
Yeah. The world is so different today, and we have to be able to adapt as companies and people that are hiring new employees. So I think it's going to be a great workshop.
Well, and women especially need to keep these skills really honed and sharp. We at our workshops we look at networking, we look at influence, we look at how to make a presentation, we look at how to connect with other people, all sorts of different things like making a positive impact in your workplace, and how to get noticed actually. And for women right now, there's a lot of research out there that talks about the fact that the pandemic has been really tough on women in leadership positions, because many women, and rightfully so, have chosen to stay home and take care of their families, but many are ready to come back into the workplace now. We want to make sure that they can get back in the workplace, and that they have the skills to keep on that upward leadership journey.
And I also think too is having the other connections that they can reach out to within the group if they have questions or challenges or just something they want to talk through. So I think it's great.
It's a really great networking opportunity. Quad City Women Connect. H&I is a member, All Steel is a member, Bank of America, Cobham, McCarthy Bush, Cobham, they're Eaton Mission Systems now. They just changed their name, right? Northwest Bank and Trust, Royal Neighbors of America, Unity Point, Wells Fargo, Kent Group, RSM US just joined our group, and it's an opportunity to form relationships with your peers who are doing the same thing that you're doing, and really have I'll say a fruitful conversation about what you're doing to make your workplace a better workplace, and what you're doing to get people there. We all know that you're probably if you're looking for people, you're probably interviewing the same person, but that's just
probably true.
Just the way it goes. So the meetings are good for setting up that networking, getting to know each other. The workshops are bigger. We usually have about 100 people at those, and
this is such good stuff.
Yeah, it's we just feel like there's a way to help improve the community by improving the people who work in the community. And we also, in addition to our workshops, we also have an annual conference here in the Quad Cities, which I can talk about a little bit later if you want to.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, as the father of a daughter, this is very important for me to, because she'll enter the workplace one day, and she'll enter into hopefully a leadership position one day, and it just feels like this is a group that even I want to kind of push the Salvation Army towards to get involved, because the Army believes absolutely in egalitarianism, where women are just as equal as men in everything that we do. My wife holds the same rank as me in Salvation Army, but we have all female employees at Salvation besides myself.
Oh, wow.
So it's something I kind of want to get them pushed and involved in, just to better themselves and to better the Salvation Army as a whole in Muscatine, in Quad Cities, and beyond even. So this is a national program?
We are based in Iowa.
Okay.
Our headquarters are actually in Cedar Rapids, and we have an office in Des Moines and the Quad Cities. And we work in the Midwest right now. We say that we're global because of virtual.
Sure. Takes you anywhere you need to go,
yes,
doesn't it?
we have been able to talk to people and help people across the country,
That's
across
amazing.
in the world, for that matter. So, but it's a worldwide thing. The thing is that most of the decision makers in most of the big companies in the world the top people are men, and that we know that. But what we're trying to do is just move the needle just
Right.
a little bit, because we know we used to just say this, but now we have research that supports this.
Sure.
Companies that have women in leadership roles are more profitable. I mean,
Oh,
it's
wow.
the bottom line. We got the
Awesome
numbers.
to
I can
hear.
show you the research.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome stuff.
why not?
Right.
But we also know that we need our male advocates and allies to help us, because, like you say, daughter, wife, sisters, every man that we know has a woman that they want to really be able to succeed in their business. So,
Bobbi, I have a daughter in Denver and one in Kansas City, and they knew I was coming here today because they happen to all be home. And I'll encourage them to kind of start spreading this word across the country and get this to be able to go beyond Iowa, so.
And I can spread it too with my Salvation Army comrades all across the world. We're worldwide as well. So this is good. This is good. This is why this show is so important, and the sponsors are great, because we have great people like yourselves, to talk about very influential and impactful things that women can just connect to and take it back to their employees, employers,
Right.
and create change, influence change, culture, the environment for this stuff to really take root and see great change for women in the workplace, in themselves, in networking. So this is really great stuff to share on Facebook, to share amongst your fellow employees, employers. This is good stuff.
well, and we always say at Women Lead Change, we're all about workforce development. I mean, if there isn't a hot topic these days, I don't know what is, but being able to find the right person to do the job, and just being aware of the fact that maybe you are interviewing for people for a job, and maybe it's for men, just to help people start to think, why isn't there a woman
Right.
being interviewed for this job? Let's put a woman into the interview process. It's not because we think you should give the woman a job just because she's a woman.
Right,
We
right.
want the best person to get the job,
Sure.
but at least think about this job that maybe is traditionally a male job.
Yeah.
Could possibly be
point.
a woman's job, and women have a lot of great qualities. Well, you're a woman leader. You've been doing this kind of thing for a while.
Right, yeah. I mean, we're up for the challenge, right? I mean, I have some young women that are on my team that are involved in the communities and having leadership positions within the organizations with Muscatine and beyond. And I love to see that, and I love to see their excitement and their desire to want to do those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think about people like the former mayor, Diana Broderson, in her position at the Y, she's retired from with the family programs there, and it was the mayor, and Megan Francis, Jordan Lloyd, Lindsay Phillips on the school board. And there's all these, I can think of all these different positions in Muscatine that I'm aware of. Carol Webb, city administrator, that have great women leaders in them.
Right.
And it gives my daughter, seeing them in the paper, on social media, it gives my daughter that gleam in her eye, like, I can do this one day.
There's an opportunity, yeah.
I can do this one day. And if we can foster that now,
Right.
to make it easier for them to have those opportunities, it gives me goosebumps talking
Yeah.
about it.
Well, a recent a company, Lyondell Basel in Clinton, just is the manufacturer. They recently joined our company, and their plant manager, Jerry Hernandez, is a woman. She's, I mean, you don't traditionally think of a woman as being a plant manager.
manager.
There are a lot of those. And you made me think about something.
Yeah.
You talk about mayors. Well, the CEO of our organization, Tiffany O'Donnell, was just recently elected as mayor of Cedar Rapids.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And
Nice.
she did that because she wanted to see some change.
Yeah.
She's a lifelong Cedar Rapidian, and she's like, maybe I can make a difference in a different way. She's staying with Women Lead Change. I mean, that's her full-time job. But there you go.
What a great advocate for the city and for the Women Lead Change.
in government and business.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else? What else is happening?
So there's just I think one of the things that are great is just the continual. We get together once a month and we meet as a group. The topics are all different. Different people have the opportunity to run and present at the meetings. So looking forward to those. Trying to schedule my work travel trips around those so I can make sure I meet those. But those are some great things that I'm looking forward to in addition to the larger events.
For both of you, question for both. What's a highlight of your time with Women Lead Change? What's a highlight that really sticks out, that really just pulls at your heartstrings, like, this is why I'm so passionate about this organization and what we do?
Right.
What's a memory or a highlight that you could just share with people to kind of maybe tug at their heartstrings a little bit?
Right. Well, I think for me, just being very new to the group, I think when I went to the social event that was in the Quad Cities, walking in going, okay, I know Denise, I know Bobbi, like how many women are going to be there? Yeah. Are they going to be like, what kind of fields are they coming from? And I think just that instant feeling a part of a group, and they hadn't even met me yet. They didn't know my name. I hadn't actually officially joined. And so I think just them embracing me like I was welcomed, no questions asked, didn't matter who I was, where I was coming from, and just kind of have a common cause of supporting each other and being friends. I mean, you're friends and then you're also a resource. So I think just that feeling of making some instant friends was great for me.
Absolutely.
Well, and we always hope that the group is welcoming and where you come from. I was thinking when you were talking about that, I was thinking at last year's Quad City Conference, I met Miranda Harrelson, who is the head of HR at Enterprise Holdings, which is Enterprise rental car. And she and I just started talking, and she was volunteering at the conference, and I just said, what are you doing, and how are you, what's your biggest challenge? Well, finding the right people and figuring out how to keep them and get them, and as it turns out, Enterprise has a really great system in place for getting people in and training them for leadership. And so we just talked, and they joined a couple of months ago, and one of the things that they had an opportunity to do at one of our meetings was to present it's their management trainee program. They've got this really cool idea of everybody starts as a management trainee, so by the time you work your way up through the company, you've worked at one of their locations. And I didn't know that.
So
I had no idea.
It's automatic. You enter to this training program as a
which is super.
Talk about
impressive.
Creating future leaders
and really getting to know all the different roles and responsibilities, starting from scratch and then moving their way up. So I thought it was super.
That's really impressive.
Well, last month we had Alicia Singh from Merrill Lynch speak to the group about the uniqueness of finances and women, and how women have to look at their finances just a little bit differently. She gave us some really startling statistics about how when a man and a woman sit down and talk to their financial advisor, that the man is more likely that if the advisor, being a man or a woman, is more likely to address the male than the female. I mean, she even had some graphics that showed they were like a heat-seeking light that showed how they glance. I mean, and so that's one thing that women have to be aware of. If you're in a position where you are generating income, you need to know how to manage it. And you need to know how to do that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
We've got next month we're hearing from Cynthia Christ, who works for Arconic. They're going to talk to us about their culture and why people want to come to work for that. So that's the kind of thing that we talk about at our meetings. Yeah,
it sounds like it's very it's vitally important. But it sounds like you said the instant connection, the instant friendship that you experience. And that's so important, because if you're not used to, especially for the last 2 years, to crowd, to people, and maybe you've lost some of those interpersonal relationship skills, it's having that instant feeling that you belong there. Sure. It just helps foster that feeling. So I think it's really important.
I was going to say, one of my goals is, Kent Corporation has many companies, and I'm within the Kent Pet Group, and there are other other companies that I'm excited about taking this information, taking the resources, and spreading it beyond just Kent Pet Group, but to the other companies as well. There's a lot of wonderful women that work there, capable women looking to better themselves. So I think it's going to be a great resource for me personally to help within our group, but also just spread throughout the other companies and up to, within the executive teams as well.
Yeah.
Well, and part of the benefit of being a member, and this is really only one of the only membership type organization we have within our organization. Part of it is it's kind of set up on a chamber style model where you meet every month, but the biggest benefit I think of membership is that with your membership you get complimentary registrations to our quarterly workshops. So you can send 10 people from the pet group, or you can send 10 people from H&I, or you can send 10 people from Bank of America, or All Steel, or Royal Neighbors, and then they're also open to the public. So that's a really important thing that I wanted to emphasize, was that these workshops are open to anyone in the Quad City area. They're in this next one that we have is in person. We usually have one. Well, who knows what usual is, but this last year we've had at least
normal,
one virtual one where everyone can attend from wherever they are. But getting together in person is so important.
It is.
It just
so
does
important.
something among just morale and just unity when you can be in person with people.
It's like energizing too, right? It's great to connect, but it just feels good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and when the whole world shut down a couple of years ago, it felt like I thought, well, we're just gonna. Personally, I thought I'm gonna die because I just love talking to people.
Socialization.
Right. Oh my God. And I'd be at home with my husband and the 2 dogs, and I love them all. But but what we did was we just didn't even skip a beat. With especially with our Women Connect groups, we continued to meet virtually. We learned a lot more about each other, and everybody just instantly flipped right into it. But we have had 2 in-person meetings so far this year, and people are just literally clamoring to be there.
It's almost an electrifying atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone back in the same room again after so long of being virtually, and virtual works, right? It takes it around the world, like you said.
Right.
But there's just something about being in person. It's like electrifying. It's just the atmosphere is it's ripe for great change, great things to happen, great relationships to spark and connect, and to see where they go is limitless.
Right.
And it's a great feeling, isn't it?
It really is.
It's a great feeling.
It really is.
Well, and our this group that we're talking about, Quad City Women Connect, is part of a bigger kind of a network. It's Women Connect. We just keep saying Women Connect. We have a Women Connect group in the Quad Cities, in the Cedar Rapids, in the Cedar Valley, Cedar Falls, Waterloo area, one in Des Moines, and one in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And each one of these groups does essentially this. They have an opportunity to connect with each other and business people, and we're womenly changed. We do actually have a couple male members of one of our groups in Des Moines, our Metro Women Connect. So it's a good group. It kind of came out of conferences. We were known for our conferences for a long time. We've got one coming up here in the Quad Cities, October 6th.
Talk about that conference and everything involved with that.
Oh yeah, it's an annual conference that we have here in the Quad Cities. We also have one in Cedar Rapids and in Des Moines. We have had conferences in Dubuque and Sioux City, but this year's conference, October 6th, is at the Isle Casino, the Riverfront Convention Center. I guess that's the actual. We're not going to be hanging out in the casino much, but that's a day where we bring in keynote speakers who can talk about things that get you motivated, get you excited. Last year we had Sarah Thomas as our keynote speaker. She was the first female NFL official. So that's the kind of person that we
on Facebook last night.
Oh, you did?
Yes. They were shaking it. One of the ref was shaking her hand, and it was like historic because I think also last night or night before was the first female on a Major League Baseball coaching staff on the field as a base coach or something like that. So the world is paying attention, and the world's recognizing it.
Yeah. So that's
they're being recognized, which is great.
Exactly, and that's the kind of speakers that we will have at the conferences. We're still lining up the speakers for this year, but what's cool about it is we have these bigger name, recognizable name females who speak at our conferences. But in between all that, we do breakout sessions, and the breakout sessions are the real tactical, go back to work, I'm going to do this thing. And those we utilize local experts on that. So we have a group that pulls in all of that, and I'll just say that the Quad Cities has been a great supporter of Women Lead Change. They're one of our newer areas where we are, and we're supported largely by our businesses there, much like when you named off your sponsors.
Yeah.
We have sponsors, and the sponsors support a lot of the conference, and then it's open to the public too. So I think we have 400 people.
Wow.
Sure, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good. It sounds like there's some awesome things happening. Again, what's the dates of the conference?
October 6th.
October 6th, and it's in the Quad City
Cities.
area? Okay, Quad Cities. Yeah. So
And
check out, do you have a social media page for Women Lead Change?
Women Lead Change. Yep.
Check them out on social media, Facebook.
Let's see, what's our address? WLCglobal.org is our address.
WLCglobal.org. Check them out online, on Facebook, Women Lead Change, and don't forget the conference coming up. So we'll have more information on that as well. So that's really great stuff. It's really good stuff that you don't hear enough about very often. So
definitely not, no.
the more we can get this in front of people in television media, in print media, and social media, I think the greater impact on even the young girls it'll have growing older. So this is foundational, really laying the groundwork and for future generations of women.
Right.
To
And
know,
I'd love to see more muscatine companies get involved. As I'm sure
Yes.
you would too, Bobbi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have Kent, we have H&I, we have All Steel. Trying to think. And I mentioned Lyndale Bassell from Clinton. So we're not just like downtown Quad City businesses. So it's, I don't know, Quad Cities is a metropolitan area. Just like in Des Moines, we call it Metro Women Connect. Well, there's about 6 or 8 different communities that are part of that. In Cedar Valley, that's one that, Cedar Falls, Waterloo. Sioux Empire, that's Sioux Falls, South Dakota, that's their metro area there. And the one in Cedar Rapids is called Corridor Women Connect. So we're like, we don't want to limit, like we can't go across the border. Well, we do have, we have people from Illinois on our
Right,
but
right.
Yeah, and the bigger the better, and we'll just be amazing. They're amazing people.
I think about the women that I work with every day, and the lady. So my wife and I might be the bosses, but the lady who knows what's going on, Janet Broders, has been at Salvation Army for 15 years,
Okay.
and one of the women that I work with very close for our Salvation Army, she's the donor relations director, Julie Fashion, out of Cedar Rapids, and I could just my boss, my divisional commander, Major Beth Petrie. I mean, there's women in leadership in Salvation Army, and it gives me goosebumps to think about just that
Right.
there are girls that come up through the Army that can look at these different leaders that are making great strides in social services, social ministries,
Right.
and knowing it's done by women,
Right.
that they can too.
Well, you can't be one unless you see one.
Right.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's great. Yes,
Absolutely.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So,
I'll never forget watching social media, and a friend of mine had his girls glued to the inauguration day because it was he said, to look at my daughter's eyes, to watch Vice President Harris, take the oath of office. He said, she looked at me and said, that could be me one day. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not? Why can't it not? I mean, absolutely, it could be her one day. So
yeah.
My daughter was recently interviewed for a job, and they asked about someone that you look up to, a mentor, and she said me, and I was like, oh my gosh, show me. But what she said is, Mom, you've been able to raise a family. We had fun. We took vacations. You worked this whole time. You're professional in your job. You've advanced. You progressed. And she's like, I want to be able to do that. So seeing is believing, and seeing that people can do it is super important for young professionals that are out there and just starting their work career. So made me feel really good. And now, again, being able to find different things that I can kind of help continue to grow myself and have them see that it's possible that you can do it. So
we live in a time, an amazing time, when we can and we can do that. And one of the cool things about Women Lead Change is that we're not political. I mean, we don't really care how you voted in the last election. And as there's only 7 of us in our organization. You know, we're kind of all across the board when it comes to political leanings, one way or the other. But we're like, we don't really care. But what we want you to do is recognize the fact that women make good leaders. And
absolutely, that's what he was doing. Looking at the fact that a woman was there and could achieve that status. Maybe one day she can do it too.
You can do anything.
The governor of Iowa, Governor Reynolds. Why couldn't a girl from Muscatine hold that position one day?
Right, absolutely. That would be wonderful.
Yes.
Or I met recently with a couple of female majors in the National Guard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's talk about a male-dominated area there. I mean, women are moving up in the ranks there, and they're faced with a lot of different challenges.
Yeah.
But you can be a general. You can be a Supreme Court justice.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I mean,
there you go.
And we're talking about women, but we want to always be cognizant of the fact that we are a diverse and an inclusive organization.
Absolutely.
It's not just women; it's women of all cultural areas of Black women, Hispanic women, Asian women, LGBTQ, trans people.
Yeah.
We just really want to see any woman be promoted to a better job, and it's just better for them, better for their family, better for their.
We had one of the women I think of in town is Officer Whitney Pena with the Muscatine Police Department. She's a school resource officer, and she brought a group of middle school girls down to Salvation Army to do some volunteerism last week. And I said, well, what's your group name? And she said, it's Skittles. I said, well, explain that. And she said, well, we talked about it amongst the girls, and they're all women leaders. So it's all women, all middle school girls and all women leaders in the community that go with these girls. And she said, they talked about it and they said, we all look different on the outside. On the inside, we're all just the same, like a Skittle.
That's great.
So
I love that analogy.
and when you're talking about your group, it just hit me. That here's a police officer that influences and impacts girls, women, every single day. In her job at the middle school, and in the community, she's a good community engaging police officer with the Muscatine Police Department. So thank you, Officer Pena, and all the women that work with their Skittles group. That came down to do that. So it's great seeing those groups and how they just pour a little of themselves, their leadership skills and abilities into these middle school girls. It's a very pivotal time.
To the younger girls.
Absolutely, middle school is just a strange time in our lives anyway. And to have a woman like Officer Pena and all the ladies, I forgot all your names, I'm sorry, but just pouring into them and teaching them about helping others in Salvation Army. And I'm sure you guys have all those different kind of workshops, how you can give back to your communities with Women Lead Change. So great stuff today, guys.
Well, thank you. Well,
ladies, I apologize, I'm losing the chance. Great stuff today.
You know
ladies.
what? I say, hey, how about all you guys when I'm talking to a whole group of women? But we really do try to. You hit on a good point there that I'd like to expand on just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that it starts at home. It starts at home with the examples like your daughter, like mom's a leader, and it goes all the way clear up through the boardroom. I mean, we have part of our group is an organization called EPIC. It's the EPIC Corporate Challenge, and we speak specifically to the CEOs of companies within Iowa and outside of Iowa, and we ask them to make a pledge to put more women into leadership positions in their companies, on their boards. We ask them to pledge to gender pay equity and to really take a look at things that will help to improve the leadership development of the women in their companies. And the cool thing about it is these companies comment on this. They say we're going to do this. They commit to it, and then we survey them every year. We don't just go, hey, that's great. We say, okay, you said you did it.
Show us.
How did you actually do it this year? So that's one of the things that I think is really important. That it's all over. You just never know, and we just have to keep inserting it in the conversation. Women lead change.
William Booth, who was the founder of Salvation Army in 1865, he's famously known for saying some of his best men are women.
I love him already.
Some of the best leaders of the Salvation Army have been women. There have been women generals, and like I said, my boss right now is a woman. I started out in Salvation Army. My first divisional commander was a woman, and so I've been the recipient of great female, authentic, genuine, quality leadership.
That's great to
and
hear.
Thank you for what you guys do to promote and to influence and to just to make that happen.
Right.
For women all across the Quad Cities and beyond, really.
Right.
Well, we really appreciate the opportunity to talk about it with you today here in Muscatine, all over the Quad Cities. Later on today, I'm going to be meeting with somebody from the Quad City Chamber, and also then I'm later on meeting a young woman from the Hispanic Quad City. So, we kind of try to get everybody involved in here.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, I always say I'm the best job because I need to connect with the most amazing people every day, and they're mostly women, so can't do that. You're coming at me with that box thing.
Good stuff. I don't want to stop you or interrupt what you're saying, because this is real good quality stuff that I've watched this show, for 3 years, and I've seen you on a few times, but sitting here having a conversation with you, it drives a point home. And I really hope that you, the audience, when you watch this tonight on the Access Channel or on live right now or on Facebook, that you can really get a sense of the passion behind the person sitting next to me, the people sitting next to me, the women sitting next to me, the passion behind why they do what they do, the women leaders sitting next to me. I hope you can get a sense for that. It's really, really important, vital conversation to have, and I really appreciate you guys coming on to have them. But
thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, anytime. I'm just the guest host. I say anytime. I know Chris Anderson's heart; he would say anytime as well.
Right.
So, well, let's do this thing. This is Toyota Muscatine.
Bobbi, let me hold your mic for you.
I was just going to say, why don't you do it?
Let me hold your mic for you.
Toyota Muscatine sponsors the What's in the Box. So thank you, Toyota. But here we go.
Okay, but I need to put my hands in.
Put your hands in, and then kind of pop the doors open with your hands.
Okay.
There you go. Yep.
All right.
And kind of feel the package.
Looking around here to see what this is. It feels like.
What does it feel like?
It feels like a crunchy, healthy snack to me.
Oh.
Am I close?
You're
Am I
close.
even
If you think
close?
about what I said today was nationally, you might get it.
Oh, so is it beans or
Keep going. Keep guessing.
Peas or do you know?
Do you
what
like
it
it
is?
a certain kind of pie?
Oh, apple, cherry, pecans. Pecan. Yay! It's pecan.
It's a bag of pecans.
Oh,
yeah,
I
take
love
it out.
it.
You
I
can take your
love
hands out, take this out, and take a look. We'll get this out, and you can take a look at it.
Oh, pecans.
There you go. It's
Oh,
a bag of pecans.
such a healthy snack. Yes.
So take those
All
with
right.
you. Have them on the road with you if you want on your
Hy-Vee.
trip
Thank you,
to
Hy-Vee.
Quad Cities.
Yes. Oh.
So I told you before the show started that I would give you guys either one or both of you really, if you want, the opportunity to close the show with just an inspirational message to women, to young girls, however you want to do it. This is your time to speak into the camera and to really just speak to the heart of women out there.
As I mentioned earlier, Bobbi inspired me. So Bobbi, why don't you close the show out for us?
Well, I guess the thing that I would say is something that I've learned in my own career, and that is, as a woman, as a person in business, never fail to ask somebody for advice. Never think that somebody can't teach you something. And my rule of thumb really for making connections in the community is never say no when somebody invites you for a cup of coffee, because you never know for sure
great
what
advice.
you will learn and how you will connect. So always stay connected. It's not that hard, and it is a way to really find out what other people are doing and ask
great
what they're
advice.
doing and ask for their help.
That's good stuff. Well, you heard it. Thank you all very much
You're
for
welcome.
being here.
Thank you.
Bobbi and Jean. I've learned a lot myself as the leader of an organization that employs women. So maybe I will join in on one of the conferences, or send my women that work, not my women, send the women
You
that we
can
work
go.
together with.
We have a
to the
Males and
conference.
Advocates track.
yes.
So all right,
Yes. So,
Allies and Advocates.
this is important stuff. Great information today. Check out discovermuscatine.com for more information. Check out our Facebook page for more information. Women Lead Change Facebook page as well. The website one more time.
WLCglobal.org.
WLCglobal.org if you would like to, and you should, if you'd like to get more information on Women Lead Change. So listen, it's a great day to have a good day. Have a great day. Keep living, keep giving, and keep doing the most good. Have a wonderful Thursday.
When you buy a vehicle for Toyo Muscatine, keeping your vehicle safely on the road is our highest priority.
We offer scheduled maintenance and extended service hours for those unexpected repairs.
Our service department's mechanics are dedicated to providing you with the highest quality of care.
Feel free to ask any of our friendly staff if you have any questions.
Come on down to Toyota Muscatine today.